Late breaking news, Detroit Lions fans. Brad Holmes has officially done it. He has signed a defensive edge pass rusher, and we're going to talk about it in this late edition episode, so stay tuned, y'all. It started with an owner who had a last name fans despised, hiring a coach that the experts thought was crazy,
but I got a plan, I swear to you,
who traded for a QB that was said to be washed up. They said the Detroit Lions would never amount to anything, that it would always be the same old Lions. But this team, our team, has a new identity, defined and expressed by the crazy head coach.
Doesn't matter if you have one ass cheek and three toes, I will beat your ass.
Led by the QB that nobody thought was good. Motor City Mania is in full swing and ready to start. So join the show and be prepared for kneecap biting, because Motor City Mania starts right now. Hello everyone, and welcome back to yet another episode, a late edition episode of MCM Motor City Mania. I'm your host, David T. Pike, and we're diving in right now. As always, for those that are coming back to the show, I just want to say thank you all for your view, your support, your patronage. Thank you all for coming back. And for the newcomers to the show, I just want to say thank you all for giving my show a shot. Hopefully you enjoy the content. Hopefully I gain your subscription if I've earned and deserved it. And with that, I just want to say to everybody, God bless. Hope you enjoy the show, and let's dive in and talk about it. So, not going to take a whole lot of time with this one. Not going to draw this one out. We just need to get straight away to this. If you think about this really long and hard, which you really don't have to, this is news that Lions fans have been waiting, it seems like, weeks for. Ever since the trade deadline happened, and ever since we've had problems getting after the quarterback with consistent, whatever type of production, this is news that Lions fans have been waiting for. And quite frankly, this is the news. The Detroit Lions, Brad Holmes, has officially signed an edge rusher to the roster in terms of the practice squad. That edge rusher's name is Bruce Irvin. Now, I'm going to tell you this all right now. There is a lot about this signing that I absolutely love. There's a lot about this signing that makes sense, and we're going to talk about it really quickly, and not only what it means for the Lions, but also what it can do for the Lions. So let's get into it here really quickly. First and foremost, when you take a look at Bruce Irvin, there's a lot of things about Bruce Irvin that I really like. The first thing I like about him, he has a lot of playing experience. This is a guy that has bounced around the league several times. He's played for multiple teams, whether it's been the Falcons, the Bears, the Raiders. He's had several stints with the Seahawks. This is a guy that has a lot of experience playing around the league, and he's had a lot of experience playing for some really, really good teams. But it's not just the overall playing experience that I like about freaking Bruce Irvin. What I really like about him is his positional versatility. If you take a look at him, this is a guy that can line up on the defensive end. This is a guy that's an edge rusher. This is a guy that's a linebacker. This is a guy that has multiple positional versatility on a defense. Well, let me tell you something here. For a defense that is looking for guys that have the ability to jump around, do multiple things, this is what you want. This is a guy that can really help you in multiple ways, because Bruce Irvin, he can cover, he can tackle, he can pressure the quarterback. He is an absolute just beast for a defense, because he has the ability to affect a defense and also affect an offense in multiple ways. Now, when you take a look at what Bruce Irvin can do in that regard, then you start adding on top of it in terms of his statistical production over the years in the NFL, because Bruce Irvin has a lot of statistical production, and I'm telling you this right now, having a guy with this much experience, but also the production to match it, is an absolute godsend for the Detroit Lions, especially at this point in the season. Now, let's take a look at what Bruce Irvin has done as far as the statistics are concerned over the course of his NFL career. If you take a look, I didn't have a chance to actually write this down on paper. I had to put this on my phone because of how quickly I was trying to put this all together, but this is what you got for Bruce Irvin. He has 340 total tackles. He has 54 sacks. He has 16 forced fumbles, 3 of which he has fumble recoveries. He has 3 interceptions, 13 pass deflections, and 2 defensive touchdowns. This is a guy that has the ability to impact the offense in a huge way, which helps out a defense even much more so. So for me, the experience that he brings is definitely huge huge for this Detroit Lions defense. And the reason why is because, well, let's be frankly honest, this is a rather young, though talented defense. But getting a guy like Bruce Irvin, who's seen it all, he's done it all, and he has the statistics to back it up, is absolutely a godsend for this Detroit Lions defense. But again, you keep diving further and further into what Bruce Irvin can provide for this defense, there's no shortage to how great of a signing this is for the Lions. Again, I understand it's just a practice squad signing, but again, you have to understand how the NFL kind of does business now. Most teams will sign players and put them on their practice squad for about a week or two, so that way they can get acclimated to the team, they can learn whatever scheme it is, offense or defense, before they officially put them onto the active roster. Most teams do not just straight away sign a guy right off the streets and put them onto their active roster. That's just something that doesn't normally happen anymore. They want to make sure the guy is ready to play. They want to make sure he's got the defense or offensive scheme down first before they put him on the field. But when you think about it, and all that nonsense that Bruce Irvin has, getting on that practice squad is definitely going to help him, and it's going to help out the freaking team by itself. Because think about it, in practice, he has the ability to impart a wealth of knowledge on these young, though very talented edge rushers and defensive ends and even linebackers that the Lions have. The only exception to that rule would be Alex Anzalone. But even still, Alex Anzalone, in comparison to Bruce Irvin, is actually rather young. But my whole point is this. The biggest takeaway that the Lions defense can get from a player like Bruce Irvin is his playoff experience, is his experience in big games. Because you have to think about this here. Not only has Bruce Irvin been in the NFL for a very, very long time, and I'm not trying to make too much about his age, though I will talk about that here in a moment. The one thing that Bruce Irvin definitely has that a lot of players on that defense do not have is, one, playoff experience, but also two, Super Bowl experience. Because think about this, folks. Bruce Irvin was a part of that Seattle Seahawks defense back when it was known as the Legion of Boom. Back when they had the likes of freaking, Richard Sherman and all those other really, really great players when the Seattle Seahawks were a really, really great team. And in fact, he was a part of both of the Seattle Seahawks Super Bowl trips, one of which they won against the Denver Broncos, and then he was also part of the same team that went the very next year and then lost to the New England Patriots. The whole point of the matter is, there's not really that kind of an experience in terms of a player on the defensive side of the football for the Lions. So here's what this signing really tells me, number one. Brad Holmes recognized that he needed to get somebody else on the pass rushing effect to get after the quarterbacks, because obviously the Lions are not getting after the quarterback as effective as they would like to do. Anybody can plainly see that. So getting somebody else to help out, that is definitely something that's going to be a bonus to this defense. And it should, in theory, once Bruce Irvin gets on the field, help us out immensely. That's number one. Number two, think about where we are in the season right now, folks. We just passed the midway point. We're now going to start getting into those really, really crucial games, those games where we're starting to vie for playoff spots. Those teams that are kind of right there on the fringe, they're going to be vying for playoff spots. This is when the competition gets amped up. This is where you got to bring your A game. This is where your veterans really start to show out. Bruce Irvin definitely has that in spades, because Bruce Irvin is a guy that's been there, done that. He knows what to expect, and he's going to impart that on this young but talented defense. That's number two. Number three, this move tells me that Brad Holmes is definitely trying to make a very deep run into the playoffs, because think about it here. When you bring in a player like this, it's not necessarily just for feel-good story. It's not just to make news or make waves. You're actually bringing in a player to actually make an impact and to help this defense. And again, we have to understand what Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell look for players. They want players that are going to match the chemistry. They're going to match what's going on inside of that locker room. So they must have liked what Bruce Irvin not only brings as far as a player, but also what he brings as far as a cultural fit, as far as a locker room fit. And that's perfect for the Lions, because it should mean that he should blend in right away and start helping this team out. That's number three. And then number four, when we do get to the playoffs, one of the biggest things that defenses absolutely must do without any failure is get after an effective quarterback, whether it's sacking him, whether it's pressuring him. The Lions desperately needed that, and Bruce Irvin is one of those guys that can do that very well. And when you've got two guys off the edge, or by the time we get to the end of the season, James Houston as well, you're going to have a revolving door of edge rushers, whether it's freaking Aiden Hutchinson, whether it's Bruce Irvin, whether it's James Houston. You're going to have a revolving door of edge rushers that will be able to keep those guys fresh, so that way you can constantly bring the heat and pressure, provided, of course, Aaron Glenn decides to do that, which we have seen kind of inconsistently this year, but I ain't going there. The whole point of the matter is having Bruce Irvin adds yet another weapon. It adds yet another opportunity for this Lions defense to get better, which ultimately is what the Lions are looking for as we now start heading into the second half of the season. So for me, I absolutely love the signing for all of those reasons. However, though, the one reason I don't like this signing, because again, I try to be balanced in my approach here. I try to give you both good and bad. The one thing I don't like about this signing is how old Bruce Irvin is. He's 36 years old. You realistically have to ask yourself, how much can this guy really contribute on the field? He's got a wealth of knowledge and experience, as I've already highlighted multiple times in this episode. But you have to wonder how much gas is really left in the tank. I would like to think he's definitely got enough gas to do something for the last, 9-something games we've got this year. But that's definitely something that's in the back of my mind. But as far as I'm concerned, if that's the only gripe I realistically have about him, I'm still very, very much excited about the signing. I'm very much happy about the fact that Brad Holmes finally made a move, brought in a recognizable player, brought in a big-name player that can help out this defense when this defense has been struggling. Because again, that's something else that this signing tells me. It tells me that Brad Holmes was definitely concerned about the defense, because when you make a move like this late in the year, it's not just for a feel-good story or for news. You're doing it because you feel you need to make that move. And again, the fact that he went and got a pass rusher tells me that not only was he concerned about the pass rush, but he's also concerned about the defense at large. And again, it once again backs up my theory that Aaron Glenn keeps getting more and more talent, because obviously, for whatever reason, he can't make do with what he has. But again, this isn't about Aaron Glenn. This is about the fact that Brad Holmes went out, made a signing, and showed once again a continued commitment to get this team better and to hopefully get the Lions a deep playoff run. So for me, I'm absolutely ecstatic about the news. I'm absolutely happy about the news. So for me, there's nothing about this that really is something that I'm upset about. Again, the only gripe I have is his age. Other than that, the playing experience, the position versatility, the postseason experience, I mean, for crying out loud, the statistical production, what can you possibly not like about this move? Like, seriously, what can you not like? But anyway, I already said this was going to be a really quick episode. Didn't expect it to take more than maybe about 13, 14 minutes at very most. So I'm going to end the episode right now. And with that having been said, I just want to say thank you all for watching yet another episode of MCM Motor City Mania. If you like what you saw, by all means, I highly encourage y'all to watch the next episode I got coming at the end of this one. And hopefully tune into my previous episode from today. I also encourage y'all please to do one of these three things. Like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. If by chance you subscribed in the past, you forgot to do so at the time, or you just subscribed and now you had a chance to do so, again, highly encourage y'all, please subscribe. It really helps me out. But also, after you subscribe, make sure you turn on that bell notification icon as well, so that way you never miss any more content that I push out. Subscription numbers are always going up, but if you turn that bell notification icon on, you can keep coming back, you can keep seeing my content, and we can keep having meaningful discussions not only about football, but more importantly, about the Detroit Lions. I also want to encourage y'all, please, share this content with your Lions friends and family members. Share it here on YouTube, share it on Twitter, share it on Facebook, share it anywhere and everywhere you can with everybody and anybody that you can. And with that being said, I just want to again say thank you all for tuning into the show. Thank you all for everything that you do. Hopefully I gained your subscription if I had not done so already. And I just want to say God bless. Hope you enjoyed the show. And until the next time we meet, I'll see y'all in the next episode.